Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We just witnessed Legacy pick up a win against Regicide in game number 1. We're about to get into game number 2. Gentlemen, what do you think has to change here for both the teams? Because, you know, good start from Regicide, but great finish from Legacy.
Don't look at me.
I mean,
I retired from this. I just give critique throughout the game.
no, I think, okay, the first thing I think is that if you're not going to punish this sort of advantageous jungle matchup that you have of the Nidalee into Gragas, you know, maybe go back to a ganking jungler and just try to facilitate your lanes, because they seem to be getting outmatched man for man here. Also, don't pick something like Corki when you're leaving Kassadin open. You know, that was just too much pressure they couldn't handle.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to throw at Regicide the same kind of criticism I throw at Legacy, which is, you know, pick an identity for your team. Whereas top lane, you had such a good matchup in Aurelia versus Na'Vi, you didn't have a ganking jungler, so we still thought they lost a 2v2. You know, they don't have a great 1-3-1 because they've left open Gnar and Kassadin, who are arguably the two best 1-3-1 champions on the patch. So I think that, like, you have to actually pick a clear identity for your team that gives you a reasonable opportunity to be able to take control of the early game. You can't just expect to get given free lanes against a team like Legacy.
Well, let's see if Regicide can exploit the Legacy Game 2 curse coming into game number 2 here, as they have not picked up a single match 2 victory so far in the OPL.
Yep, they are a blue side team, very fair to say. They've won lots of games on blue side.
They always start on the one side?
No, they don't always start on. I just think I was looking at it, and I think so far they're like 3-1 with blue side starts. I'm sure it's swaps throughout the season.
Well, they haven't been able to ban out Jax, which was their last ban. Sorry, the first ban in game number 1. Fiora, Elise, as well as Zac are taken away by Legacy. Thresh, Galio, and Caitlyn banned out by Regicide, and they lock in Lee Sin for Fate.
And Tally hovers the Yasuo. That's a little bit of BM right there. Just making sure that ZZD knows that if he's going to blind pick a Gnar, that he does play it. Interesting. Lee Sin, if you're good enough, wins like every 2v2 at this stage. Come on, mate.
I mean, well, you see me screwing my face up a little bit. I don't know if he wins every 2v2. I think Rek'Sai gives him a hard time.
Yeah, Rek'Sai, actually, that's true. Rek'Sai is actually very good at the moment. I'll give you that.
But no, I do think that this makes a lot more sense coming out of Regicide. They just take the blind jungler here, who they know is going to have ganking pressure, and they're not going to get counter-picked immediately in their bot lane as they did last draft. So, Lee Sin matchup into Gragas is fine. I'm sure he won't be too perturbed by that. Yep. But, you know, maybe now they take the Tristana themselves. Shady Boy, bit of an Ashe fan, might go towards that. But I guess we'll see. So, off the first round of the draft, they haven't actually been counted across their lane, so that's not bad.
Yep.
So that's a better start.
Exactly right. I mean, the thing about Gragas is in the 1v1, Gragas actually doesn't care about Lee Sin. You just bop him out of his queue and then walk away. But in a ganking scenario where you always have to lead with E pretty much as the Gragas, you have to be second to ganks versus Lee Sin. Because if he ever turns around and fully commits onto you, especially after, you know, level 5, level 6, you're in big trouble. So, going back to decoys, is that the only champion he's played so far?
He's a pony.
One-trick pony, bro.
OTP, yep. Certainly, I mean, it looks good enough, so if it's open, pick it. Especially given the fact that Thresh isn't available this game, and we know that Cupcake does like to play some melees himself. Yeah,
you know, conversely, Decoy actually doesn't play it. Probably the only champion in the support role that he doesn't look comfortable on, at least in solo queue. But, you know, taking away the Braum counter into the Xayah and then picking Xayah with it, they should have a stronger lane at the moment.
Top of that, Braum always does well into Gragas, which was locked in by Legacy. Xayah is the AD carry of choice for Chenny Boy heading into this game, so jungle as well as bottom lanes picked up for Regicide. Let's see if Legacy lock in their support here. And it's going to be Bard for Cupcake.
I hate Bard.
You hate him?
I really do.
Why do you hate him?
You hate a lot of champions in League of
Bard
Legends.
was incredibly strong when he had good lane pressure. I just don't know if he has lane pressure anymore, to be honest.
Oh, he does against Braum. I think everything has lane pressure against Braum at the moment. Maybe.
I mean, I hope so, because if you hit him with a Q, I think he just dies and, like, yeah, I don't know. I think that, like, when Bard was incredibly strong, he had a little bit extra range. His meeps were much more damaging at the start of the game. He can't get any snares in, like, a good situation versus Braum because the Q destroys the not the Q, the door destroys the Q. So I just Cupcake obviously likes it. I just don't.
It's also not as scary as throwing out an Alistar or a Thresh or a Braum from a Kalista Ultimate than it is a Bard who just comes out and starts playing music at your face.
Why do you like him? Do you like him?
Me? No, I don't like him that much. I think he's annoying. He's annoying to listen to. He's annoying to watch. He's not that fun to play anymore now that he's been nerfed a few times, as you said. But I think that they actually had the opportunity to play something, you know, a little more aggressive
I
know,
would
with
like
the
to see a
Callisto.
Zyra or...
No, opposite. I'd like to see the Alistair, who's not going to get punished by the Braum,
Oh,
and then,
really?
have so much team fight presence later. Even the Rakan, that's a very, very prominent lane at
Rakan
the
would have
moment.
been good. I could get aboard Rakan. He's the new Alistar.
Rakan Kalista is a really strong bottom lane at the moment as well. The next wave of bans have gone through for both teams. We have Cassin as well as Lucian banned out, Irelia and Ari banned by Legacy.
I mean, you can tell that they still want to play Corki and they still want to play Gnar because they've literally legitimately banned away the 2 champions that have won those lanes against them. So Legacy do the right thing. They're like, we're going to blind the Gnar, so we're going to get rid of Aurelia. And at the same time, I think this is going to be a blind Corki coming out as well, so they've banned away the Cassin.
Yeah, and and the Lucian also actually does well into Corki too, so another reason that you'd want to ban it. We've all seen Claire tear it up in solo queue on Lucian mid, but they take
one of the worst
Crocodile
probably
top
the
lane.
reason we saw Gnar come back into the meta was because supposedly there was not an answer to Gnar. Looking at Ivan here,
And Vladimir was banned out by Legacy last match as their final ban, locked in for Suman.
so we see him going back towards that comfort pick that the desk was raving about a little bit. Has definitely looked pretty strong on it. So, maybe going for a bit more of a team fight, sort of all in.
Now I just question why not J4. Because, I mean, if you're already going to lose the lane equally as hard, J4 Vladimir was their most successful comp for sure that they played. Claire actually turns around with Cassiopeia, which is one of those 50-50 matchups. Cassiopeia has very good pressure, but if Vlad ever gets to, the 2-3 item break point, he's still going to be able to blow up your whole team.
Yeah, I think early laning phase definitely goes in favor of Cassio. If he takes this Ignite, I'd be surprised to see him lose. Yeah, if the Vladimir gets to scale a little bit into the game, without much interference and being disrupted a bit in this scaling, probably looks even. After Claire's performance last game, don't imagine he gets into this game very safely, so we'll see.
I also like the fact that Cassio can, at the start of the game at least, match side pressure against Vlad. I mean, if they want to swap, the duos into the mid lane or something like that, Cassiopeia isn't like the Orianas or, I mean, I would have said Victor, but we saw a very good side lane Victor played at Rift Rivals. So I like that about their comp. They do have, not the hard 1-3-1, but they have an answer for it if Vlad goes towards that.
So curious to see what they're going to be able to do as well. I mean, Regicide going a lot more standard, but we already mentioned this briefly during Picks and Bans. ZZZ picking up Renekton into what was known as the counter matchup to this lane. It seems like the roles are reversed now.
Yeah, I mean, Frozen Mallet on Gnar really gives Renekton an impossible time. Renekton, he either has to go in, then you just get hopped away from, and you really don't have a response to that. There's little interactions that really destroy Renekton's day. Like, the fact that Hop gives you attack speed, and then, you are just able to, continually proc Frozen Mallet, there's no downtime. Even in the 2v2, it's going to be very hard for Fade to get on top of Gnar as well without things like Flash Kick. So I think that, normally we look to a strong top side of the map out of Regicide. This game, I don't know if they've secured that for themselves.
Well, let's see if Vicarious has any thoughts about the draft he's put together with Regicide as he's standing by with Hingers.
Hey guys, I'm here with the coach of Regicide, Vicarious, and I want to ask about the top lane, because in the first match, we saw you guys pick up Aurelia, into Gnar, a very good matchup, but Renekton seems like a weaker matchup for the top lane. Do you agree?
Okay, so Renekton do get bullied out by Gnar because of the range, and also later on when Gnar have the Black Cleaver and the Frozen Mallet. But however, because Legacy's comp is a very team fight oriented comp, they later on into the game they might not have the tools to deal with the Renekton split push.
I see.
And our comp is a lot more about the disengage with the Lee Sin, Braum, etc. And we're looking to use the 4-1 split push to deal with the Gnar and their team fight comp.
That's fascinating insight. Well, thank you for speaking to us, and best of luck in the match.
Thank you very much.
Vicarious is going to be pretty happy with its team start so far. As Claire was caught with his pants down, sitting in a brush.
Yep.
First blood picked up by Regicide. Goes over to Xayah, who's gone back to base and picked up a longsword.
Did the right thing, in my opinion. Didn't burn Flash. I mean, they just would have flashed after him with Decoy or someone like that. And I mean, Cassiopeia Flash when you don't have Ghost is pretty important in this mid lane matchup. Want to touch on what he was saying. I thought he was going to go the completely opposite direction. I thought he was going to say they're going to drag Renekton towards team fights, and he's an underrated team fighter at the moment. I completely disagree that he's going to win any part of this split push as the game progresses.
Yeah, back to the drawing board, boys. I don't know how that split push interaction works after one item. The only way I've seen it is that Gnar, completely steamrolls Renekton.
Curious to see what's going to happen to top lane. Let's see if Vicarious's predictions come through later on.
In saying that, Vicarious, really well-spoken guy. I actually like listening to him talk.
Yeah, no, I was just going to add as well, as if there's one Renekton player maybe on the server outside of obviously the love of my heart Swiper, who maybe can take this split push, you know, to the next level. It could be ZZZ. Obviously, we've seen him had a lot of good performances earlier. But yeah, I guess I don't agree with the game theory.
I also want to point out that we've seen 2 Renekton builds worldwide. One of them involves the Titanic Hydra, and one of them involves the Blade of the Ruined King. And they do very different things, Fish. So I wonder which one we're going to see ZZZ go towards. I would expect the Titanic Hydra Black Cleaver into Gargoyle Stoneplate because it's just so strong in team fights, and I think this game will get to that stage. But we'll know if he picks up a Cutlass how hard he's going to be split pushing throughout the game.
Let's see what he does pick up later on in the match. For now, we're just checking in with mid lane. It's been fairly even so far, but Suman got a big transfusion off against Claire, forcing the bird through 2 of his corrupting potions very early into the match.
That as well. He has 35 AP, which doesn't seem like all that much AP. But when he hit him, he hit him really hard. And then I was like, well, now that I look at it, it is a lot of AP because he's got like a Dark Seal, and I mean, is he running? I don't know what his rune page is off the back end of that. I was trying to do the math in my head.
Well, there's Fade coming in for a gank mid lane, jumps to top of Claire, gets the slowdown, tags him after the flash spell. Suman wants it, he's ghosting for it, but doesn't get there quite on time.
I mean, it's still a 1 gank. All of a sudden, the lane's in a horrible position for Claire. You can't pick up boots to get back to lane quicker on Cassiopeia. It's one of the things that you overlook. You need that movement speed from the passive. Cupcake maybe is in trouble. No, he's fine.
Annoying champion.
So yeah, that's going to hit the mid lane turret. Suman's going to get the free shop of whatever he wants if he wants to, you know, recharge that refillable potion, although he hasn't used the stack at all. So maybe he just sticks around.
Let's see how that goes later on. Bottom side of the map, as we saw, Cupcake got into some trouble, but Decoy got the spears ripped out of him and took quite a trade from Lost. Still being aggressive there. Decoy taking damage again. Chenny Boy tries to return the favor. Top side of the map, though, completely even between Renekton as well as the Gnar to kick things off.
What's your thoughts on Xayah now? I mean, without giving too much away. I mean, we've seen Caitlyn come back in, outranges, Tristana, Cogmore outrange. She loses lots of range advantages.
Ooh. Oh, that's good trade from Claire.
Certainly is. Is she still viable in the meta?
Yeah, no, I actually think Xayah is... Sorry, not Xayah. That's a support champion. Xayah is still definitely quite strong. She's been slept on slightly, you know, because everyone's trying to practice these new picks everyone's seeing. But she definitely, outside of the Caitlyn matchup, I think she can survive a lot of lanes, unlike Suman, who can't survive this Cassiopeia lane. And then she's a fantastic team fighter. She's one of those AD carries that actually has a lot of lane presence. And if you want to gank around the jungle, gank around the bot lane with your jungle, obviously, you know, she has obviously the root, and that's really, really strong in a gank setup. So I think that she's still very good. People are shying away from the Xayah Rakan lane as much now, just that there are answers. So she's not as blind picked as much, but I think she's still quite strong.
Let's see if there's a dive coming down here. Carbon just showing up. Makes his presence known, but no dive coming in against Regicide. Good damage, though, onto towards Chenny Boy. Decoy a bit late with the shield there.
I mean, the general rule is if you have Braum in a lane, you don't dive it. And then, like, the second rule is kind of if they've got full summoner spells and, you know, health potions and everything else, then you probably definitely don't dive the lane. So that would have been a good call from Carbon. He was just looking to see if they could get any priority, you know, force them away from the turret, maybe pressure a little bit, because the other 2 lanes are going absolutely fine at this stage, Fish.
And I think Suman's made a big mistake. He has not gone back to base. Almost dies to Claire there. Yes, he's out of mana, chunking through corrupting potions, but Suman's going to be forced back now, and the CS is now going to swing in Claire's favor.
I mean, yep, you can certainly say that again. Now it's going to push into Claire. Claire can even take a recall himself if he wants. Very smart. And now the lane gets incredibly hard for the Vladimir, because all that hard work that Fade put into the lane is no longer applicable.
Interesting purchase. I don't know if I like the Lucidity Rush that much on Vladimir.
Yeah, interesting. Why won't you just pick up a Kindle?
Don't know. Don't know at all. Maybe, you know, we do have to, you know, give a bit of respect to Suman, who is quite a good Vlad player.
Actually, movement speed against Cassio does make a little bit of sense. If he thinks he can, you know, really hard mechanics this one, sidestep out of all the poisons and just be a general nuisance. I mean, Boots Rush makes sense. Also, you know, Ghost Flash as summoners, Lucidity is pretty maximum value with that. I mean, I can see where it comes from. I agree with you. It's a bold call, Cotton. We'll see how it works out.
Suman's going to take a turret shot as well as Twin Fangs to the face. He's popped his pull. Claire chasing after him. There's the Ghost as well. Tags him with the Q, but Suman a little bit too quick.
Yeah, no, definitely fast. Good thing you bought the boots.
He would have died if not, but
The gingerbread man right there.
He ran back to home real fast.
but now Claire has mana, and Sealman's stuck in this lane. Can't get the blood rush
Doesn't
off.
get the blood rush yet.
Ooh, the grounder comes out. Doesn't tangle with the Q this time around, but Claire's very comfortable in this lane. Has his tier picked up.
Claire looks good. Claire is a confidence player. He is obviously very confident that he can take it to Suman in these counter matchups that he's been given a couple of games in a row. And credit to him because, I mean, it's one thing as a coach giving faith to your laner of being able to abuse someone. It's a completely different thing of being able to do it in back-to-back games.
I mean, you have to... They gave him the counter pick, so obviously he wanted the Cassiopeia into the Vladimir. Everyone knows that Suman will pick Vlad if you give it to him. So clearly something they've prepared, and Claire should feel confident in that. So definitely props to him. He is controlling this lane from what was quite a bad start to the game.
Big ultimate coming out of Claire. That's a kill. Instantly picked up. Sealman uses the last action he has to pop down the ultimate instead of his W.
Yeah, nice plus 35 gold there for Suman as he dies. Probably not the best use of his ultimate, but Claire definitely taking control of the matchup.
Yeah, you can just see that he's so comfortable. That was a grounded straight into the ulti. I mean, the stun secures the kill. That I mean, I don't even know whether it was really necessary. ZZZ now gets dove.
Yep, that's going to transition top lane as everyone piles on in. Stun locking ZZ, he pops his dominance. Tally will take some damage, jumps on top of Cassiopeia, but he's not taking damage from the turret, yet still ZZZ! 1-on-3, turns it around and gets a kill onto Claire.
And you can see in the bottom lane, again, somehow a team that looked like they had, numbers elsewhere.
They're looking for a trade against ZZ again. Carbon wants to dash on him, but Legacy's top lane and jungler a little bit too low. There's a dive coming bottom though. Fade is
flash
here.
kicked him. That makes a lot more sense.
Yep, that kind of does. Flash kick, as you were saying, definitely an easy way to secure a gank from the Lee Sin. He's also rushed Moby, so he really did take our advice of don't play in Italy, just get into your lanes and help out. But definitely quite impressive. They're trading cross map pressure. ZZZ outplays literally 1v3,
Yep.
takes the kill, and maybe relieving a little bit of pressure from Suman now as he gets back to lane and shoves it in.
I mean, for sure. All of a sudden, it's only, that 10 CS as well as a kill, but a lot of time wasted. He got behind them. That's nice. So you can see, goes over the wall here. Flash kick, gets him back over the wall. That's pretty clean mechanic. Actually waits for him to hop back over and stays on that side as well. Actually, just hats off to him. That's really well played.
And that's after Decoy for snagging the kill with his ult. Nice!
Big KS from Decoy.
I think he was going for Cupcake as well. I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah,
No,
no,
he wants a Cupcake flash.
He got a kill and lost last game. He wants to send a message that he's the real enemy in the bottom lane.
And as you commented earlier, Spawn, we're seeing ZZZ head towards, the Black Cleaver. Probably not going to pick up the Blade of the Rune King this game. So, probably looking to team fight, potentially.
He's doing absolutely fine in his lane. He survived a 3-on-1 gank, and he's only 6 CS down with a kill up and an assist. He'd be pretty happy.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, sometimes as a jungler, you have a lot of pressure on ganking a winning lane. Because that, Tally was already up. Tally didn't burn the TP and he's still up in CS. So Tally is, artificially up 10 CS already. And he's doing Krugs for himself right now. So by ganking that lane and giving over the kill, all of a sudden it's harder for Tally to continue win that lane. Because now he's 20 CS down or whatever you want to call a kill at this stage. So I agree with you, but every now and again as a jungler, sometimes you just let a winning lane win, especially if they're going on the other side of the map.
Yeah, definitely. And maybe just a little bit of overforce. See an engagement again.
Claire, he's going to pop his ultimate. Carbon jumps in for the body block. Fade in trouble, trying to dash away. We'll kick one back. Claire picks up the kill. Very low. Sealman looking for some return damage, but Claire just turns around, fires away the twin fags. Sealman's going to fall. Double kill picked up by Snake Lady in the mid lane.
And Claire is an absolute beast today. I do not know what he ate for breakfast, but it is certainly working. And now they might have caught out Decoy as well.
Yeah, Legacy definitely had their muscle meals today. Legacy forced Decoy to flash away, and still they look on form in this game.
Yeah, I mean, they certainly do. He's just able to... I mean, the way he turned that and the confidence, didn't even burn the Ignite. Now Chenny...
Ooh, that's big damage coming out from Lost. Big double stun as well from Cupcake. Decide not to chase any further forward.
I mean, that Ignite didn't have flash. Probably couldn't get in there.
Would have liked to see Callista ult, maybe. Deploy the flash from Chenny.
Yeah, for sure. Agree with that.
But we see, Legacy capitalizing on what was actually a very impressive mid lane play. And, they should look to break first brick there.
They probably will. Mid lane's going to get taken down. Carbon takes it up, throws out the ultimate just to make sure Sealman can't get back into lane as well.
Lobs out the barrel, saying back off, we're getting this turret. Does a little bit of damage to the wave, I guess. Side note. But, yeah, this game has definitely been handed to Claire on a silver platter.
Cupcake will get jumped on though. Locks down Fade. Takes a magical journey back to safety. What a fun champion to play against.
I mean,
Big
yeah,
fun.
They've done a good job in this laning phase. They got killed, but they are up, you know, like 14 CS and the wave's pushing in, so it's probably closer to 20. But really, the big pressure point on this map is that mid lane, because unfortunately for Suman, he's down nearly a level and a half in experience, and is not going to have the easiest time. And now the boots make even less sense, because at this stage of the game, you probably would rather have Merc Treads or something along those lines. Defensive boots on Vlad have generally been king. And he just can't get in.
Fade's going to jump up. Look at Claire, though. Just turns around onto Lee Sin. Fade in trouble. Will kick Claire back. He does not care. Goes on the killing spree. Ignites Suman as well. One more Fang's going to be enough. Doesn't even need it. Double kill again by Claire in the mid lane.
Literally a highlight reel for this player, you know? Styling on them once again. Now, Claire is having a fantastic performance. We can't say that enough.
I mean, he's just absolutely destroying two people at the same time. He is 2 levels up over Suman now, who's had an absolute nightmare. 40 CS, he's 5-2-0. One of them was before the minions had spawned fish, and one of them was a top lane dive.
Well, Claire might be in some trouble here. Winner's bite, almost getting popped.
Mistake.
Chenny Boy as well as Decoy going through with this one. They don't get it. Chenny even pops his heal. Now wants to go for more damage to the Claire. Will flash away, gets a shutdown ray, ripping all the petals back for himself. Tally wants to challenge on in, almost turns into Mega Nah. Legacy do lose their mid laner, but still get good pressure mid lane in there.
All right, that was actually fantastic coming out of Chenny to burn both sums to get that. I thought that Cupcake was just going to halt the end of his magical journey, but didn't go for it.
Yeah, don't know.
That's why I thought that was going to be absolutely awful. I thought that they were going to have all their cooldowns back available, but holds onto the spell, and unfortunately for Claire, his streak now goes over onto the Xayah. Maybe the last carry hope for this team.
Yeah, potentially. You know, Chenny Boy expended 3 very big buttons in his ult and 2 summoners, so it has to be very respectful now under his turret here. But, you know, pretty good play. Definitely, someone had to shut Claire down before he could base and buy more items.
Oof, big damage. Decoy finally puts up the shield, and he just takes some in return. Legacy looking to try and take down another turret for themselves. Carbon's here, over the wall, finds him, knocks Decoy back, will get the kill. Decoy throws out the ultimate, Cupcake's being thrown further forward. Tempered Faye will lock down the Xayah, and that's going to be an easy kill picked up by Legacy.
And all of a sudden, unfortunately for ZZZ, he is exactly where he doesn't want to be, moving into 3 people. You can see the Vladimir is coming down, but the Cassiopeia is there as well.
Suman trying to get in amongst the action. Good stun coming out onto ZZ again. Ultimate thrown out by Claire. He will lock down ZZZ, picks him up. Lost gets one as well. Double kill picked up by the Callista.
Yeah, and really nice collapse coming out of Legacy there, but that was a force out of Regicide. 2 members should have died, but there was no need for the other 2 to fall down there. And unfortunately, Legacy running away with this game as well.
Yeah, as I said, you know, Chenny Boy grabs it, a good shutdown, an important kill, but he uses far too much for it and then tries to defend his bottom turret. ZZZ coming in with a very late teleport. Carbon, you know, just in the right place at the right time. And now, you know, Legacy are going to clean up 2 turrets.
Faye trying to force again. Will kick Cupcake back and takes his magical journey. Says, take that, buddy. You're not getting in this one. Decoy's going over the wall as well, trying to chase Carbon and Loss. No ultimate available for the Braum, but tags up Loss. Winter Spike, 2 more auto attacks away from Procky. Loss gets stunned up. Smite goes down on the Scuttlecrab as well, trying to keep Carbon alive. Decoy flash into Winter Spike. Carbon wants to jump over the wall. Tally's here, though. He's going to go Mega up against Chenny Boy. Nars him into the wall, slams the ground as well, picks up a kill. Now trying to turn this one with the help of Santa. He's going to deliver some presence here. Decoy stands and delivers, pulls Spade back into the fight. Silman now flashing in, doesn't get the damage he needs. Tally will take down Decoy, running away from the Vlad. He's turned mini and just hop, skips, and jumps away from Regicide.
I mean, in the end, that's actually a 1 trade nearly for Regicide. They lose 2 members. I think they pick up 3 in response, although, nah, Claire just knocked down a turret. So take everything I said back. But, I mean, that's a committed play.
Yeah, and Tally grabs the turret in the top lane too before that fight comes out. So definitely Legacy taking the gold lead from that maneuver. But yeah, I don't know. I'm hearing these sound effects from Cassiopeia, and they're triggering me a little bit. This throughout that whole fight, bottom, I was just like, oh, that sounds like a lot of damage coming out. ZZZ and Faye fighting over their Krugs right now. Who needs the experience more?
Faye says, Lisa mine, get the heck out of here.
I mean, as a jungler, you have that, right? Hey, high tech, you get more from them than anyone else on the map.
Yeah, definitely valid.
But at the same time, Fade's looked pretty good in both games today. I think that we've finally seen that at least we had questions about how he was going to transition back from jungle, mid lane to jungle. And I think that this week has been the first week that he's looked like a legitimate jungler and seemed to be pretty on point with his champion.
Yeah, and, you know, not against one of the weaker junglers in the OPL. Carbon, obviously, definitely a name that everyone knows and respects. So having a pretty good performance. On the other side of the coin, Tallywacker also having a pretty good performance too, showing that his first game with Nah, you know, maybe not his true potential, but you know, he's definitely playing much better here.
See whether he's going to die. Caster Curse coming in. Nah, he's a coach, not a caster, so he will live through this one. Although, nah, he's fine.
He's just been kicked.
He's been kicked.
Legacy want to try and take Rift Herald, though. They lock up Decoy and turn onto the spawner set. Tally, meanwhile, 2-on-1, gets 1 kill. Cupcake, though, knock up, throwing them back with Carbon's ultimate. Decoy's going to fall. Chenny Boy falls shortly before him. Legacy get 2 kills, move towards Rift Herald.
Yeah, and Fade has just... sorry, ZZZ jumped on Claire.
Oh, Claire's dead. He tries to pop his shield, wants to try and keep himself alive, but he just can't. Regicide will get 2 for 1 in the bottom lane, sorry.
No, 2 for 1, but 2 for 3 overall. But double shutdowns, and they're going to pick up a turret versus a Rift Herald. I don't know the math on that one. I'm just going to say that both teams trading very well across Summoner's Rift.
Yeah, everyone's dying. Everyone's picking up objectives. That's how I like to see League of Legends played. I'm probably going to give it a little bit in favor of Legacy. They should reclaim tempo off this, just with their top lane pushed in, their mid lane pushed in,
yep.
And they're going to control this top side of the jungle now. Obviously, with Rift Herald, their next play becomes a lot more dangerous too. But yeah, Suman does grab the first turret for Regicide and claims his team a little bit of gold.
And we were talking about this concept earlier, Jish, of just, this is one of those games that you're not winning in the next 5 minutes. This becomes how slowly can we lose as we actually take a look at the bottom lane play. So Faye gets in there. Nice Warthog. That's clean mechanics. Gets over the back. Tally right now is exhausted, so good cleanup kill. Almost got it by living. ZZZ has to start booking it, but he does the right thing here. He sees Suman is coming down. He lets Claire come in, baits him a little bit, and then just flashes on his head.
Yeah, definitely playing with his summoner spells quite well there. Both of them dodging Claire's ultimate. Quite a good 2v1, even if you would expect them probably to take that.
Yeah, for sure. And what I was going to make the point just before the replay is this is one of those games that unless this goes for 35, 40 minutes, you don't have a window back in. I mean, you're down 5,000 gold, but more importantly, you're down 4 turrets and you're down a lot of vision and tempo control around the map. So now it becomes, how can we stall this one out? How can we wave clear? What lane assignments allow us to farm safely so that when our Vladimir is huge, when all those items are picked up, although Chenny Boy's probably dead, so let's hold that.
Lost looking for a kill. Chenny Boy throws out his ultimate, pulls back all the pedals, but Lost in a good position picks up that kill.
Yeah, not really much you can say about that. Lost just claims a free kill on the map. Chenny Boy knows that he's dead, doesn't use any summoner spells. And now Legacy do have complete control of this top side and should force Decoy and Fade to just walk out of their own jungle.
I mean, do you drop Herald on this wave? I don't know if you're going to have a better opportunity than this, so they do.
Yeah.
Probably going for the 2-for-1 special. That means everyone has to collapse into the top lane.
I mean, this turret's gone. Regicide are walking away. They respect it's gone.
Are they going to push through? Cannon's still alive.
Can't see them getting the inhibitor turret here. It should just be pretty hard to dive against the Brawl.
Arrow charge might get some good chunk damage.
Here we go.
As much of his health goes in. That's a good chunk onto the top lane inhibitor turret, but
they just walk away, leave it.
Slowly regaining its health. Legacy still putting in some pressure. Nara's mid lane headbutting the turret.
So that was the last easy objective on Summoner's Rift. All the outer turrets knocked down. I mean, they're going to have some dragons. They now have priority over the Baron area, but how does the stall start now? Can you wave clear?
I mean, 6,000 gold at 20 minutes. I think Baron's a pretty easy objective too, to be honest. But yeah, you did mention it. Stalling is going to be the aim of the game for Regicide here. At the moment, Suman's hitting like a caster creep. He really needs to catch up. And this free objective, showing up now for Legacy.
Teleport with ZZZ.
Teleport, you have to cancel.
Legacy are going to peel off Baron. Claire is fairly low. Lost, missed his spear there, and Cupcake's trying to keep ZZZ locked down. Meanwhile, Suman's been able to kill Tally, so this is a 4-on-5 if Regicide can group up.
Yeah, certainly can, and he gets in. I mean, does get stunned against the wall, has a second charge, doesn't go for it. So instead, they're just going to delay some more times. They burn teleport, which is very important with the Gnar going to be sitting bottom lane.
Oh, wanted it. It forces Lost to use the ultimate, tricks him out.
Yeah, not bad. They should get this inside track onto mid lane now. Carbon forced to ult. But I do see this going.
Doesn't do much. This mid lane turret taking quite a bit of damage. Suman's going to tank up the turret as Chenny Boy works on it, picks up the turret kill. Suman will get slowed down. Fade, kick it back. Gragas very low. Suman tries to jump on in, but they kill Fade instantly. Ultimate for Claire slows everyone down. Tempered Fade will pick up 2. Suman and Decoy locked down. Good ultimate from Decoy, though. Slows down Claire and Lost tremendously.
Yeah, and the ultimate out of Chenny was pretty on point there as well. Actually got a triple snare, although Carbon still wants in. Tally's teleported.
The spike comes out, but not in time. He gets a kill onto Chenny. ZZZ is in trouble as well. Lost trying to pick up that one, but Tally gets a double. Meanwhile, Lost picks up one as well. In fact, stolen away by Cupcake right before he dies. Flashes over the wall, wants this Vladimir, throwing spear after spear into this man, and he will eventually get the ace for Legacy.
Yeah, certainly will. And all of a sudden, Legacy off the back end of a good TP play. Now we'll have access to that Baron. It's exploded. 8,000 gold the lead. Nearly make it 9 after the Baron buff will be taken. And they just look like such a confident team after Rift Rivals.
Yeah, definitely looking much better than their first 3 weeks in the OPL. And, you know, probably even better than they did overseas. Obviously, probably much tougher opponents, but a very clean Baron take. You know, a very good teleport play out of Tally. And you have to expect this game is, you know, going downhill super fast for Regicide the next couple of minutes.
Yeah, and I mean, that's kind of the objective when the stall is happening that you can't give away. You can afford to bleed a dragon every now and again because, you know, the game's already going to be difficult, but you can't give up that Baron. And you see that this was a siege, and they probably should have just been content with the turret, to be honest.
Yeah, no, they definitely should be backing up now. Fade comes in for the kick, gets stunned or grounded by the miasma. The Redemption, you know, keeps health across Carbon. The actually really good ultimate out of Cupcake. And, you know, at this point, Tally's TPing in behind them, and Legacy just chasing down for the ace. So, you know, definitely probably bit off more than they could chew with taking that turret. Tallywhack is just like literally behind the whole team, just like kiting them back towards the wrong base.
Yeah, certainly is. Able to get that cut off, and you can see around the Rift, only really ZZZ going to get anything done. And, I mean, you have to kind of, you know, there's lots of things going wrong here for Regicide, but you have to respect the fact that they're still trying to fight out of this one. See whether they can get it done here.
Carbon tries to knock back Fade, only gets Decoy instead. Tally wants to jump on in, but hops away. Lost goes on a killing spree with that one kill. ZZ slices out. Knocker, great coming out from Cupcake, and Lost. ZZ will fall. Tally gets that one. Magical Journey gets them into the back lines. Fade, one attack away from dying. Doesn't matter, they've got Chenny. Fade's the next target, and they wipe the floor. Regicide. Everyone said Legacy are pushing for a victory.
Clean ace by Legacy. 23 minutes into this one. They're going to march into the base. They're going to pick up a 2 clean 0, and they come back from Rift Rivals in style.
They definitely have something to prove now. You know, not happy with their international performance. You know, showing that they want another chance and they want to take it to Worlds.
No clue. That's not the case here today. Carbon leads his team to victory. Legacy, they're finally going to be able to pick up their first 2-0 in the OPL. Or are they? Decoy's trying to put up a fight. We've seen him kill a couple of people before in this series already. But that's it. They just have to take down the Nexus. Eventually they will. For now, they just want to farm up as much as they can. Legacy, come on, finish the game, guys. Your first 2-0. Don't let me be hanging.
This is the damn Nexus.
What the heck is wrong with you? You're a bloody tree. Drop on Regicide. Finally, they pick up the 2-0.
The make fish keep talking and talking and talking at the end of the game special.
I'm having a stern word with Carbon after that game. Not happy with him. In my heart, Regicide have won.
But on paper, they definitely did not. Legacy came in. This is one of those games where, you know, it's, what is it, 3rd or 4th at the moment versus last. You have to come in, you have to be able to pick up 3 points, and you have to be able to get business done. And that is exactly what they did. And hats off to Claire, who, for me, looked fantastic in that whole set.
Yeah, Claire actually, you know, gets 2 counter picks both lane phases, but, you know, definitely shows that he's worth putting stock into. And, you know, it's not just the Lost show. It's not just Carbon supporting with Claire. It's that, you know, Claire can show up too.
Whereas Regicide throwing everything in the kitchen sink at Legacy. Sometimes it paid off, but most of the time Legacy punished them heavy for it.
I honestly think that, you know, with the Abyss series that we saw earlier, this was one of the better early game series we saw out of Regicide. They looked a lot more controllable around Summoner's Rift. And I think that Legacy are a classy opponent. I mean, we saw that at Rift Rivals. They were able to take out Ascension. And I think that that's one of those games that, once again, like, you know, I actually genuinely mean it. There's some teams that I think, you know, aren't going anywhere in a hurry. I think that Regicide can get better.
You certainly can. We'll have to see if they improve throughout the week. But so far, only able to pick up a single point for Regicide. That was against Abyss when they had no bans as well. So after that, they've had really tough opponents as well. I mean, today going up against Legacy is no exception. They're always up against top of the table, and it seems to have hurt them quite a bit. But always seeing improvement from Regicide, which is great to see. And Legacy as well, improvement for them since Rift Rivals.
Absolutely. I mean, Legacy looked quite strong today. You know, definitely making me a bit nervous for our week, our matchup in a week's time. But, you know, there was a lot of positives that I think Regicide can take from that. We sort of mentioned throughout the cast that Fade doesn't look like a glorified ward anymore. You know, he's putting pressure on the map. We see the boys coming in shaking hands. Everyone's got smiles on their faces. So Not feeling too bad about that performance, I think.
I think the big thing for me is that Decoy and Chenny look like a much better lane than what we saw, first couple of weeks. So I think that they've got the building blocks now, with Fade actually looking good, with Decoy and Chenny coming in. I mean, that's something that you can at least try and put comps around.
Certainly can. But for now, to break down that entire series, let's send it back to Hingers and the rest of the analysts at the analyst desk.
Thanks, guys. And Legacy 2-0 over Regicide. Not a huge surprise, but potentially, as Paul was saying, a feisty Regicide, seeing some good play early on in both games.
Yeah, I definitely think after the break, they've improved a lot. I was quite happy with their performance today.
I mean, I don't know if I'd go that far and say they've improved a lot because their macro just doesn't look all there yet. They've got great individual plays across the board. Maybe we're not seeing that out of Human today, but I mean, we've seen it in previous weeks.
How dare you bad talk?
It's just
Choo-Choo's prodigy to his face like that.
It didn't look good today, and I was expecting them to have worked on that macro for the few weeks. Instead, it looks like they've come back stronger individually than before, but just not all together as a team yet.
Well, who knows if the lack of a team house means they've just been grinding solo queue potentially. I mean, we don't know a lot about their practice schedule, but I want to talk about. We did talk earlier about your prodigy Human, but it was really Claire, his opponent, who absolutely popped off.
Yeah, kind of. The way he plays this gank, he immediately turns around and ults Fade, manages to pick up that kill, and then progresses on to chase down Soyman because he has no summoners. Like, that is the perfect way you play that situation. Claire knows this matchup inside out, and he proves that, and I'm really happy they put him on carry champions.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
No karmas today.
So
no karmas today.
Your true prodigy, the man that has taken your spot on Legacy, is actually performing well, is what you're saying.
Oh, so what you're saying, there's multiple prodigies here.
No, there's one true prodigy.
I guess there's... Maybe there is two.
No, there's one.
Maybe there is two.
There is one, and it's Claire.
All future mid laners. My Twitter
Everyone
DMs
is
are open.
Everyone is
I'm here
the
to help.
son of Choose.
So what would a lesser, just for people watching at home, what would a lesser Cassio have done there in that?
Lesser Cassio would have flashed away or would have run. Probably would have altered the Lee Sin, but not have known to, I have the damage to kill this guy.
Yeah.
This has happened before. He's been ganked numerous times, and he's probably played this matchup 1,000 times, and yeah, he played it perfectly.
Yeah. Well, meanwhile, Legacy proving too strong T-Gun, and I feel like you were saying before, it's just that they were able to out macro Regicide.
Yeah, everywhere that Legacy looked to do things, or where they set up, like on a bot tower, they're just there in time, and Regicide seem to just be reacting instead of being proactive, which is what you need to be if you want to look like you're going to win a game. Before this even starts, look at how chunked both members of Regicide are on a low tower. You have to swallow your pride and leave. Instead, they stay well past their welcome. Legacy chasing down. This is a really good play by Cupcake. Hit pretty much everything he could, as well as he could have. And Regicide, even from here, get cleaned up because they're just all trickling in slowly after the fight. ZZZ's coming in behind them. The objective's gone. Your players are gone. Cut your losses and go elsewhere, as opposed to slowly bleeding out over the course of a minute-long fight.
This is something that I remember I spoke to Legacy about in Vietnam, was the fact that Regicide's bot lane, Xayah and Braum didn't have summoners. We talked about punishing summoner cooldowns, and Xayah didn't have flash to flash out of that Bard ult, and it really showed how they've been thinking and improving over their Vietnam experience, and I'm happy to see that they pull those kinds of plays off.
I've got to give the credit to Cupcake then, because generally the support, at least I know I time all the summoners in our games. I'm assuming he's the one doing that. He's the one calling out the flash timers and whatnot and saying, hey, we can do this. Like, there's no way he can get out of a properly placed Bard ulti, and just sort of controlling the gank like that.
Well, speaking of the Bard ulti, I know Spawn was very vocal about the champion going into the draft. He was not a fan of it, but also we saw Lacey try this pick, this Bard in the bot lane at Rift Rivals as well. Yep. So, I mean, what's your T-Gun? You play a lot of support. Do you think Bard's strong right now?
I just hate playing against him. He's annoying. He's really annoying. And I don't actually think he's that strong now. I think Cupcake's a pretty good Bard player. He's proved it today, and he's played it quite well in this game. But one game doesn't make it a great champion. And also, if you look elsewhere, you look overseas, you look internationally, other people aren't playing it with a great amount of consistency. It's sort of a niche pick. You just sort of pick it when either the support really wants to play it, might have happened here, or it's a very, very sort of weird situation where it's only specifically good in whatever the reason was. He played really well. I don't want to sit here and deride his
I know
champion
Andy
choice.
loves Bard.
Yeah,
Like
right.
that's probably the one.
That might be it.
He
I
loves
mean,
it
he played
into
well.
he loves it into Braum, and
Why does
they blind pick Braum, counter pick with Bard.
why does explain to me the layman how Bard is a counter pick to Braum?
Bard leaves the lane, roams elsewhere, and even before that, even before he goes and annoys the other lanes, he's ranged. Most ranged champions counter Braum because you just poke away, you prod away, you keep hitting them until they just die. Spawn mentioned earlier, or I believe it was Spawn at least, Braum's shield completely dissipates the Bard Q, which is a cool interaction for the Braum side, but Bard Q is on a lower cooldown and doesn't have to be thrown at Braum. So the one interaction that really goes in your favor isn't even a huge thing. So realistically, Bard's going to beat you in lane, then leave the lane and beat elsewhere when you can't really leave your
So there are
EDC.
reasons to pick it then, right? He likes it. It's a counter pick to Braum. It's pretty good.
There's better things.
All right, okay. Well, let's talk about Claire, shall we? Because absolutely monstrous again in both games.
Boy, Claire.
And your boy Claire, you know, the one true prodigy. I mean, are we going to see him more and more on carries now?
I mean, you'd think so, right?
Yeah.
Like he played amazingly both games, and the past 3 weeks he's been playing in Vietnam as well. He's been playing utility-oriented champions. You'd have to think that they're going to finally start giving him a bit more of a carry role, and he proved it today.
Yeah, I mean, I said before going in that this was like a spot where he can prove himself and sort of regain that confidence that he seemed to be lacking. And he's done exquisitely all series. Great play in the mid lane, 2v1s at one point that we saw again in the replay. There's not much I could critique, even if I was being incredibly specific to his play.
Well, as we look at this then, let's just compare Renekton and Nah. Obviously an unfavorable matchup for Renekton, but Vicarious out of the interview said, look, we're going to try and do the 4-1 split push. And obviously, it proves it's a very, very hard matchup. Very, very hard ask.
Yeah, they first picked Lee Sin, and to me that tells me that they want to gank. They played in Italy, they farmed, it didn't work. This time they first picked Lee Sin, it tells me they want to gank. And they had the option. We're talking about how this guy can play Yasuo and Tanar, but we even saw Tally taunt him by hovering over the champion. He went for the Renekton, and to me this just showed that they wanted to keep going top. They wanted to punish Tally, but Tally performed very well this game. He top damage in his team. He did his role, had great TPs. This is definitely a highlight match from him.
And probably good from Soulstra actually to give him a good, to try and give him a good matchup, given he had such a rough time in game 1 as well. It's a bit of a confidence boost.
He blind picked the Gnar, and
there
they
was the
countered
option
with
for the
Renekton.
Yasuo.
Yeah.
You know, it's hard to say. It's hard. I want to give Soul credit because I like Soul and I think he's great at his job, but we can't give him credit where it's not due. In a spot where he blind picks the Gnar.
No, I'm saying giving him an opportunity to play the Gnar again and saying like, look, rough matchup the first game.
Yeah.
Here's an opportunity to play well.
That's absolutely
and then
fair.
letting them pick the they could have picked the Yasuo, but instead they picked the Renekton, and Tally popped off.
I will say, doing top damage on your team when Claire was doing what he was doing.
I was very surprised at that.
How did he do it?
I actually don't know how he
Where
did
did that damage come from?
Maybe it was just those TPs.
Maybe
Like
I don't know.
He had some very nice TPs that game.
I struggle to believe that because Claire was. I don't believe it. I just straight up don't believe it.
All right, well, we have a true damage truther here on the on the desk. A damage to champions truther here on the desk. Feel free to feel free to tweet at T-Gun and let him know other conspiracy theories you'd like to get involved with. I mean, for Regicide now, it's been a couple of weeks where they've showed life at the start of games. They've even taken, have they taken a game, I think, off Abyss? I think.
One game off Abyss.
But for them, are they showing growth? Do you think they can take some games throughout the rest of the split?
Ooh, that's a big question. Yeah. I do.
And if so, then what are they doing to bounce back after this?
So they've been versing some very hard teams. They started off with some quite a lot of rough teams. They versed Chiefs already. They versed Legacy, and also this series really show there's glimmers of hope. They show that they can make plays from behind, and that's a hard thing to do.
Yep.
It's a very hard thing to learn and for your mentality to pull together and think about how to get back into a game. So I do think that they'll start improving and pulling some wins.
It's also just the fortitude to stay in the game and continually look for those opportunities as well, not just execute on them. When you're down 8,000 gold, it's a horrible place to be. And if you're able to sort of talk to your team and say, hey, we can still do this, let's look for picks here or whatever, what have you, and they are doing that. So, yeah, they can take games. I'm not so sure they can take a series off anyone, but that's a hard sort of statement to make, given that 5 weeks down the road, this is going to look like a very different team than what they do today.
Absolutely. And also I want to shout out to their coach Vicarious, who seems to be putting in a lot of effort and a lot of thought into their drafts. And I feel like he's, there's some things we question, but he's always got a reason, an explanation, and I appreciate that. But that ties up our first series of the day, Legacy 2-0 over Regicide. But do not go anywhere. Do not go anywhere, because we're back with our second series. Direwolves taking on AV right after these highlights.
Some damage, jumps on top of Cassiopeia, but he's not taking damage from the turret, yet still CCZ 1-on-3, turns it around and gets a kill onto Claire. Carbon jumps in for the body bot, Fade in trouble trying to dash away, will kick one back, Claire picks up the kill, very low, Silman looking for some return damage, but Claire just turns around, fires away the twin bags, Silman's gonna fall, double kill picked up by Snake Lady in the mid lane. Look at Claire though, just turns around onto Lee Sin, Fade in trouble, will kick Claire back, he does not care, goes on the killing spree, ignites Silman as well, one more Fang's gonna be enough, doesn't even need it, double kill again by Claire in the mid lane. Ultimate thrown out by Claire, he will lock down ZZZ, picks him up, Lost gets one as well, double kill picked up by the Callista. Good, Spike comes out but not in time, he gets a kill onto Chenny, ZZZ is in trouble as well, Lost trying to pick up that one, but Tally gets a double, meanwhile Lost picks up one as well, in fact stolen away by Cupcake right before he dies, flashes over the wall, wants this Vladimir, throwing spear after spear into this man, and he will eventually get the ace for Legacy. Yeah. Lost, ZZZ will fall, Tally gets that one, Magical Journey gets them into the back lines, Fade, one attack away from dying, doesn't matter, they've got Chenny, Fade's the next target, and they wipe the floor at Regicide. Everyone said Legacy are pushing for a victory. Legacy, come on, finish the game, guys. Your first 2-0. Don't let me be hanging.
This is the Nexus.
What the heck is wrong with you? You're a bloody tree. Drop on Regicide. Finally, they pick up the 2-0.
Whilst an OPL game lasts about 30 minutes, it's generally won from a series of plays that only last a few. Hi guys, I'm Jake Spawn Tiberi, and welcome to the War Room. We created the War Room to dive deeper into set plays, high-level macro, and solid team communication. But sometimes you just have to sit back and watch people get outplayed.
Blue team double kill. Rampage.
In Game 2 of Regicide vs the Chiefs, Regicide had fallen down 4,000 gold in the first 11 minutes. Desperate to fight back, they get a pick on Chief support Aegin in the river before trying to force it down mid. This is the right play. With only arrow down on Chenny's Ash, and in a 3v2 situation, Regicide should have the advantage. However, due to some micro mistakes, Swiffer is able to capitalize, and along with some help from his Shadow Spooks, pick up 3 clean kills. As Fade and Decoy approach mid, Swiffer cuts off the choke with Cassiopeia's Miasma. This forces Fade to take an incredible amount of damage and burn his flash before committing. Notice how Fade also tries to weave in an auto attack after his body slam. This allows Swiffer to flash the cast. Now it's time for the Chiefs duo to go aggressive. Swiffer lands a 3-man Cassiopeia ult, stunning all Regicide members, while Spooks tags Fade with a Sonic Wave resignating strike combo to pick up the first kill. Spooks then ward hops behind Suman's Victor, Dragon Rage kicking him back towards his turret, and weaves in an extra auto attack for the double. The Chiefs duo then turn their attention to the lowest priority target in Decoy's Brawn, where Swiffer picks up the final kill. This whole time, Swiffer was able to keep up Noxious Blast Poison, allowing him to spam Twin Fangs. This play was enough to help secure the victory, pick up number 4 on this week's Penta, and frankly, just look sick. Here, Regicide took a shot at slaying the Oceanic Kings, but ended up falling on their own sword. That's it for the War Room. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and we'll see you next week.